Rich man, I feel it too. The Lord is nearer than, he must be nearer than altogether. It is not the weakest of the time. The strongest of the strong shall see the light. And we God shall take us from the light. If you have strong faith, you will stay alive. If you live with love, you shall survive. Things and times so rough, don't it get so tough. We never get enough. The Lord is nearer than, the Lord is nearer than. Yes, he must be nearer than. Things and times so rough, don't it get so tough. We never get enough. The Lord is nearer than, he must be nearer than. What we are gonna do, money can't help you. Rich man, I feel it too. The Lord is nearer than, he must be nearer than. Oh yeah, it's the strongest of the strong shall see the light. And we God shall take us from the light. If you have strong faith, you will stay alive. If you live with love, you shall survive. If you have strong faith, you must stay alive.
Yes, greetings, things and times there with you. Yeah, we are going to memories of everyone who've lost someone and who love the person too much. I tell you, memories. You see? Yeah. So, give thanks to all those who coming on Friday. Yeah, lovely. Now, this day in 1926, there was a matriarch that was born. And I'm going to talk about that matriarch. And this day, in 1925, was a Wednesday. Yeah, it's a Wednesday. So, we are going to look at the U.S. President Coolidge. And we are going to, a Republican, and we are going to look at mommy, memories.
When you have troubles, don't cry. Oh no, no. Just remember that God is standing by. Hold on, yeah. When you have heartaches, don't cry. Oh no. Just remember that God is standing by. Sometime when your burden is down, just remember God is standing by. Thank you, Lord. So there's no need to cry. Oh, God is standing by. just remember, God is standing by. Thank you, Lord. So there's no need to cry. Well, God is standing by. Thank you, Lord. So don't you worry and don't cry. Oh Lord, yeah. Forget about your troubles. Forget about your pain. Yeah. Put your trust in the Father. Yeah. Oh Lord. God is standing by. Thank you, Lord. So there's no need to cry, no need to cry. Oh, God is standing by. Lord Almighty, so don't you worry and don't cry. Don't cry. Forget about your troubles and don't cry. No. Forget about your pain and don't cry. Just trust in the Father and don't cry. No, I know it's no shame. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry.
On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross where the day resting best for a world of lost sinners was slain. So I cherish that old rugged cross.
Whoa. Yeah. I'm me and say now. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, if you don't have love, now you got nothing at all. Cause remember, love conquer it all, love conquer everything.
Jesus, I love you. You're all the world to me. So I pour out my heart to you. Yes, I pour out my heart to you for all of my days. Oh, yes, I do. For all of my days. I just can't get enough of you, my Lord. Oh, I just can't get enough of you, my Lord. Every day you're sweeter, oh, than the day before. So I pour out my heart to you. Pour out, yes, I pour for all of my days. Oh, yes, I do. For all of my days. Oh, said I just can't get enough of you, my Lord. Said I just can't get enough of you, my Lord. Everything I am, I owe to you, Lord. You're the very best part of my life, Lord. It's your sweetness, it's your tenderness, it's the way that you care for me. There is no other friend like Jesus, my friend. So I pour out my heart to you. Yes, I pour out my heart to you for all of my days. Yes, I do, for all of my days. Oh, and I just can't get enough of you, my Lord. I just can't get enough of you, my Lord. Oh, it's your sweetness, it's your tenderness, it's the way that you care for me. So I just can't get enough of you, my Lord. Oh, no, I just can't get enough of you, my Lord. I'm pouring out. Just can't get enough of you, my Lord.
Whoa. Yeah. I'm me and say now. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, if you don't have love, now you got nothing at all. Cause
Rugged cross.
I'm me and say now, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, if you don't have love in you, you got nothing at all. Cause remember, love conquer it all, love conquer everything. You go say that. Wow, wow, yeah.
Ooh, well, oh yeah. Fighting your brothers every day doesn't make no sense at all. Walk down the road and you see an innocent man, you'll rob and stab and shoot him down. And when you think it's peace and safety, it's a sudden destruction. The Lord seek and find your trace, and they will even cut you down. So my brethren, make it easy on yourself by doing something that's constructive. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, my brethren, walk a mile in my shoes, and then you'll be far, far from all around. Ooh yeah, then you'll be far, far from all around. Ooh, well, oh Lord, oh yeah. My brethren, make it easy on yourself. Ooh yeah, by doing something that's constructive. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, my brethren, walk a mile in my shoes, yeah. And then you'll be far, far from all around. Ooh yeah, then you'll be far, far from all around. Yeah. Ooh, oh well now. Oh Lord, my brethren, yeah, make it easy on yourself. Oh, 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 oh,
Yeah. I'm me and say now, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, if you don't have love in you, you got nothing at all. Cause remember, love conquer it all, love conquer everything.
Across the bridge, I'm going across the bridge. Oh, see my Lord, I have lived a life of sin in this world I'm living in. I have done forbidden things I shouldn't do. I asked a beggar along the way if he could tell me where to stay, where I could find real happiness and love that's true. Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge, there's no more pain. The sun will shine across the river, and you'll never be unhappy again. Follow the footsteps of the King. bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge, there's no more pain. The sun will shine across the river, and you'll never be unhappy again. I have lived a life of sin in this world I'm living in. I have done forbidden things I shouldn't do. I asked a beggar along the way if he could tell me where to stay, where I could find real happiness and love that's true. Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge, there's no more pain. The sun will shine across the river, and you'll never be unhappy again. Follow the footsteps of the King until you hear the voices ring. They'll be singing out the glory of the land. The river Jordan will be near. The sound of trumpets you will hear, and you behold the most precious face ever known to man. Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge, there's no more pain. The sun will shine across the river, and you'll never be unhappy again. Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge, there's no more pain. The sun will shine
Whoa, yeah.
across the river, and you'll never be
Whoa, yeah. I'm me and say now, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, if you don't have love in you, you got nothing at all. Cause remember, love conquer it all, love conquer everything. The Google said that. Whoa, yeah.
Yes, my God is real. Yes, my God is real.
There are some things I may not know. There are some places that I can't go. But I am sure of this one thing. My God is real, for I can feel him deep within. My God is real, real in my soul. My God is real, for he is cleansing, make me whole. His love for me is like pure gold. My God is real, for I can feel him deep in my soul. I just can't tell just how it feels when Jesus took your sins away. But it's that day, yes, it's that hard. God has been real, for I can feel his mighty power. My God is real, real in my soul. My God is real, for he has cleansed and made me whole. His love for me is like feel him deep in my soul. My God is real, real in my soul. My God is real, for He has cleansed and made me whole. His love for me is like pure gold. My God is real, for I can feel Him deep in my soul.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, yeah.
Now if you're feeling sick or sad, don't take it out on your brother. Accept your mercy and love each other. Now when you feel the pressures of life falling down on you, just be cool, don't make no strife. Here is what you should do. Put your trust in the Most High. He can make your gray skies blue. And here is one good instance why your deeds live up to you. There should be no reason why you would have to shoot down your brother. We should all give love a try, 'cause only the righteous can prosper. Your love can build you up so high, the wicked can't come over. So many evil things they would try, but they just can't cross the border. When frustration makes you mad, and you've lost the love you had, when it seems there's no hope inside, Jah will be there to make it right. When frustration makes you mad, Jah love will make you glad. When it seems there's no way out, raise your hands and open your mouth. Now, now, now. Ooh, now, 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 now. Now when you feel the pressures of life falling down on you, just be cool, don't make no strife. Here's what you should do. Put your trust in the Most High. He can make your gray skies blue. And here is one good instance why your deeds live up to you. Now there should be no reason why you would have to shoot down your brother. We should all give love a try, 'cause only the righteous can prosper. Your love can build you up so high, the wicked can't come over. So many evil things they will try, but they just can't cross the border. When frustration makes you mad, and you've lost the love you had, when it seems there's no hope inside, Jah will be there to make it right. Yes, when frustration makes you mad, Jah love will make you glad. When it seems there's no way out, raise your hands and open your mouth. When frustration makes you mad, and you've lost all the love you had, when it seems there's no hope inside, Jah will be there to make it right. When frustration makes you mad, Jah love will make you glad. When it seems there is no way out, raise your hands and open your mouth. Now, now. Raise your hands and open your mouth. Jah.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, yeah. I'm me and say no. No.
sin that double cure. Save me from its guilt and power. Now the labor of my hands you're safe and thou alone. Nothing in my hands I bring, simply to that cross I cling. Naked come to thee for dress, helpless look to thee for grace, for light to that fountain fly. Wash me, Savior, or I die.
Rock, rock, my rock of ages. Rock, rock, my rock of ages.
While I draw this fleeting breath, when mine eyes shall close in death, when I soar to worlds unknown, see beyond the judgment throne, rock of ages, clear for me. Let me hide myself in thee, rock of ages, clear for me. Let me hide myself in thee, rock of ages, clear for me. Let me hide myself in thee, rock of ages, clear for me. Let me hide myself in thee. Let me hide myself in thee.
Yes. So that's just a reminder for myself and my family. Yeah, you know, that sweet matriarch. We now left you because you now leave us. Yeah, so this day, 1925, was a Wednesday. Yeah. Beautiful. See what I mean? So right now, me I go to get back to things and times. We are go to Vernon Johns, the remembrance of also Vernon Johns. Vernon Johns was the man that was removed, and Martin Luther King was put in his place as a more mellow individual. Vernon Johns was a person who say that him see the system of America setting up black people, the children of the slaves, to be consumers. And that's what they want, and they want to keep us as servitude slave. And him saw it himself, but he just didn't speak about it. He did something about it. And like Isa alayhi salam, he demonstrated, he led from the front. So when him finish him church service, he would go outside the church, and him had stalls, tables with produce from him, from that which he grew. And other people grew. He had them available for the community. But the first was those which was the majority who attended the church. So when them came out of the church, this is what they were greeted with. Vegetables, corn, flour, potatoes, yam, you name it. He said the disrespect that we are receiving, having to go and purchase from people who just released us, is too much. And that God has given us the same ability and same potential, even though we came through such tyranny, to do for ourselves. And some people in the church didn't like it. Them say it was too much of a spectacle. And the hierarchy, which is us again, you know, also opposed it. So you see, from that time, we're trying to seek economical and self-independence. And when you look around here in the United Kingdom and you see that our purchasing power is not within ourselves, we're consumers at every level. And even though we have some businesses, those businesses are not responding to our general needs because we just do not have an infrastructure. We have assimilated minds. Anyway, listen to Vernon Johns. You must know by now that me is a Vernon Johns supporter.
As you all know, Deacon Hill, Coach Hill, whom we all knew and loved, was killed this past week by the Montgomery police when he suggested to them that they had beaten another man sufficiently. Brother Hill was my friend. He was your friend. He was these three boys' father. He was this woman's loving husband. Brother Hill was a good man, a courageous man. You know, my grandfather, who was a slave, was hanged for cutting his master in two with a scythe. When they asked him on the gallows if he had anything to say, he said, "Yes, I'm just sorry that I didn't do it 30 years earlier." Then they dropped the trap door. Last week, Brother Hill found a cause worth dying for. I envy him. Like Moses, he was a peaceful man who saw something that so horrified him that he was compelled to act. They say he was interfering with the policeman in the execution of his duties. Well, I say he was carrying out God's program. Now, I don't have to remind you about the Ten Commandments. Brother Hill knew that the simplest and the clearest of those 10 great commandments was, "Thou shalt not kill. God never said, thou shalt not kill unless you are a police officer. He most certainly did not say, thou shalt not kill unless you are white. Last week, a white man was fined for shooting a rabbit out of season. But it's safe to murder Negroes. A rabbit is better off than a Negro because in Alabama, niggers are always in season. And I'll tell you why it's safe to murder Negroes, because Negroes stand by and let it happen. When the Klan burns a cross, it is a message. The next step will be a lynching. As I watched the cross burning outside the church last night, it occurred to me that the crucifixion was just that, a lynching. And isn't it ironic that everything we worship was made possible by a lynching? Because at that ultimate moment of death, Jesus spoke the words that transformed a lynching into a crucifixion, that made Jesus not a condemner, but a redeemer. He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. But the white policemen who are free day after day to murder Negroes know what they do. And you know what you do. When you stand by and watch your brothers and sisters being lynched, it is as if you stood by while Christ was being crucified. Woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites. That's what you are. Because you sit here every Sunday morning praising Jesus while you know that every Saturday night your brothers and sisters are being murdered and you say nothing, you do nothing. Is it fear? Are you afraid that if you speak too loudly or protest too strongly, you'll be killed like Brother Hill? You well may be. He who takes not this cross and follows me is not worthy of me. Are you worthy of Jesus Christ, or are you only worthy of the state of Alabama?
When Israel was in Egypt's land, let my people go. Oppress on.
Vernon Jones. Okay. Here we go.
Before Malcolm X, before Martin Luther King Jr., Vernon Johns took the first step on the long road to freedom. Pastor Johns was one of the earliest voices of the civil rights. In 1948, Johns served as the outspoken spiritual leader of the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama. Incensed at the racial injustices that pervaded the South, he was determined to fight for equality for all African Americans. His refusal to accept segregation incited anger amongst the local law enforcement and caused his family to fear for their lives. Johns held strong to his beliefs and encouraged his congregation to join him, but the church council deemed him a troublemaker, and he was voted out as pastor, only to be replaced by future civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr.
all know Christ's parable about Lazarus and Dives. Dives was a rich man. Lazarus was a beggar. The rich man was clothed in purple raiment and fine linen. Lazarus was clothed in rags. The rich man dined sumptuously every day. Lazarus was forced to live off the crumbs that fell from the rich man's table. When Dives took a walk in the cool of the evening, Lazarus was compelled to remove himself from the rich man's sight so as not to offend the man's delicate sensibilities. The two men met a common fate. Both of them died. Dives was surprised to find himself in one of the upper circles of hell. His shock was further compounded when he looked up to heaven, and there, seated at Abraham's side, was the beggar Lazarus. And Lazarus, not being a spiteful man, looked down, smiled, and said, "Hello, boss." And the fires of hell tormented Dives. And in his agony, he lifted his head toward heaven and implored, "Abraham, send Lazarus with drink to cool my parched tongue." And Abraham said, "No. You shall live in death as you did in life, apart, because you have conditioned yourself to human inequality." So it is not Dives' riches that condemned him to hell. What condemned Dives was his acceptance and insistence on human inequality. The nastiest and deadliest sin in the world today is the inane hatred between the races. Here we have men hating other men to the point of murder, legislating against children even before they are born, denying them any chance of a fulfilled life because of one thing, the color of their skin. And this inane and foolish hatred threatens to devour civilization like a moth caught in a hellfire. Proceed. Rose, let's change things here. How about Good on Moses?
I can only play what's on the printed order of service.
But I'm asking you to play Good on Moses.
I'm sorry, Dr. Johns, but spirituals are not played at Dexter. We don't play sorrow songs.
Are you telling me that Good on Moses is a sorrowful song?
It's undignified.
But Rose, did you know that Moses was a prince in the Pharaoh's court? Oh, yes. A prince in the enemy's court. So one beautiful day, Moses went for a stroll, and he came upon an Egyptian whipping his slave. It was common practice to whip your slaves. It was socially acceptable. The slaves didn't like it, but they accepted it. But in a sudden and uncontrollable fury, Moses grabbed his sword and killed the cruel Egyptian. And then, feeling a pang of guilt and remorse, buried his body in the sand. And God, looking down from on high, said, "Who is that man? I can use him in my program." Moses felt remorse because no matter how cruel the Egyptian, he had no justification in killing him. Besides, he threw away his entire future with the royal court. So why did he act as he did. Moses realized that slavery is a horror even greater than murder. That slavery is an abomination. I tell you this story because a boy was killed, a member of our congregation, Isaiah Rawlins, shot in the back for allegedly resisting arrest. Were any of you there? Who among us here today witnessed this killing and refrained from coming forward? Were you there? No one. And I don't suppose any of you were there when the police shot Robert James 3 times, killing him because he was running away after stealing a whole case of soda pop. That was 4 days before Christmas. No one. Were you there on Spruce Road when the police beat Paul Patrick? They handcuffed him to a tree first. No one. Well, the papers reported that a large crowd of coloreds was there. One of you said to me recently that we shouldn't rock the boat over lynchings like this. We should let the family have their quiet grief. It is best at a time like this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that I am a boat rocker. What do these murders have in common besides their brutality? They have in common that the perpetrators acted with impunity, knowing that not one of you would dare come forward and say, "This will not stand." And I say to you, that in your silence, you have become accessories to murder. Be ashamed to die until you have won some victory for mankind.
Daddy, can we go to the circus? Or can we go on a picnic?
Yes, Vernon, the girls have been dying to go on a picnic, and I promise you to.
Daddy? Daddy?
This family will use nothing Jim Crow, nothing segregated, unless our lives depend on it. No movie theaters, no drinking fountains, and no buses.
In his sermons, King tried to rouse the church into taking a more active role in resisting legalized segregation, but the blacks of Montgomery seemed apathetic, resigned to their fate. A leader in the Montgomery NAACP, he told King about Park's arrest and that it was the case they needed to mount a legal challenge to Montgomery's segregation laws.
Mr. Johns, all our fathers, check yourself. Listen.
In this crooked game of power politics here in America, the Negro, namely the race problem, integration, civil rights issue, are all nothing but tools used by the whites who call themselves liberals against another group of whites who call themselves conservatives, either to get into power or to retain power. Among whites here in America, the political teams are no longer divided into Democrats and Republicans. The whites who are now struggling for control of the American political throne are divided into liberal and conservative camps. The white liberals from both parties cross party lines to work together toward the same goal. And white conservatives from both parties do likewise. The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. And by winning the friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or a weapon in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberals and the white conservatives. The American Negro is nothing but a political football, and the white liberals control this ball through tricks or tokenism, false promises of integration and civil rights. In this game of deceiving and using the American Negro, the white liberals have complete cooperation of the Negro civil rights leader, who sell our people out for a few crumbs of token recognition, token gains, token progress. In the New York Tribune, in an editorial dated February the 5th, 1960, they pointed out that out of 11 million qualified Negro voters, only 2,700,000 actually take time to vote. This means that, roughly speaking, only 3 million out of the 11 million Negroes who are qualified to vote take an active part. And the remaining 8 million remain voluntarily inactive. And yet it is this small minority, the 3 million Negro voters, who help determine who will be the next president. If who will be the next president can be influenced by 3 million Negro voters, it is easy to see why the presidential candidates of both political parties put on such a false show with the Civil Rights Bill and promises of integration. They must impress the 3 million voting Negroes who are the actual integration seekers. And if so much fuss is made over these 3 million integration seekers, what would the presidential candidates have to do to appease the 8 million non-voting Negroes if they ever decided to become politically active? They hold the balance of power. Who are the 8 million non-voting Negroes? What do they want? And why don't they vote? The 3 million Negro voters are the so-called middle-class Negroes, or high-class Negroes, or uppity Negroes, who are referred to by the late Howard University sociology professor E. Franklin Frazier as the black bourgeoisie, who have been educated to think as patriotic individualists with no racial pride whatsoever, who believe in and look forward to the future integrated, intermarried society that is constantly being promised to them by the Negro politician. And therefore, this integration-minded 3 million minority remain an active part of the white-controlled political parties. But it must never be overlooked that these 3 million Negro integration seekers are only a small minority of the 11 million qualified Negro voters. The 8 million non-voting Negroes are the majority, the downtrodden black masses. They have refused to vote. They've refused to take a part in politics because they reject the Uncle Tom approach of the clergy politician leadership that has been handpicked for the so-called Negroes by the white man himself. This clergy politician leadership does not speak for the Negro majority. They don't speak for the black masses. They speak for the black bourgeoisie, the brainwashed, white-minded, middle-class minority, who, because they are ashamed of their race, because they are ashamed of being black and don't want to be identified with black, they are seeking to lose this black identity by mixing and mingling and intermarrying and integrating with the white society. The race problem cannot be solved by listening to the white-minded, brainwashed minority. The white man must try to learn what the black majority wants. The president would be wise to try and learn what the black masses want. And the only way to find this out is by listening to the man who speaks for the black masses. And I can declare to you tonight and to the entire world that the man here in America who speaks for the majority, the downtrodden, dissatisfied black masses, is this same man who so many thousands of our people are flocking toward to see and hear. This same Mr. Muhammad who is labeled by you as a black supremacist and as a racist and as an extremist. If the 3 million middle-class Negroes are casting their ballots for integration and intermarriage, what do the non-voting black masses who are in the majority want? Find out what the black masses want, and then perhaps America's grave race problem can be solved.
I can't take it, I can't stand it no longer. The pressure is getting stronger and stronger. Oh, Jah, I'm a victim of society. June coming from a poor man family. I'm a victim of society. Certain people of it all and pull me. Separation, tribulation, all I see. Yeah, but all the fight came a fight. You know, Jah vibes still in me. Who they watch they? Say some of them try to decipher, but Jah know set them up a long time to wait. If they think they would see I and I turn to folly, I wouldn't do that. Oh no, I wouldn't do that. Oh no, but I'm a victim of society. True, I'm coming from a poor man family. I'm a victim of society. Certain people will be all and pull me. Tell me where I'm coming from. Do you know? In a one-room shack with a shirt on my back. Hey, I used to play in the lane, I used to play in the drain. Oh God. And my mama, she used to fry conflictors just to send me to school. But I paid my dues. Whoa, I paid my dues. But I'm a victim of society. I'm coming from a poor man family. I'm a victim of society. Certain people will be all out pull me. They will be all out pull me. The trouble me, hey, the trouble me. One and go long, wicked man, one and go long, hey. Accusing me wrongfully, a certain child just for me, but just through the liberty, Jah guide over me. Jah guide over me. Oh yeah, I'm a victim of society. I'm coming from a poor man family. I'm a victim of society. Certain people won't be all and pull me. Certain people won't be all and pull me. What them a go? Watch them a go with them gun and them bombs. But I'm a not go run. No way. I'm a not go run. No way. Them a test I faith. Want and protect them bait. But on Jah I'm going away. Alright. Oh, I'm a victim of society. Now follow no fashion. You know love will ration. Hey, but away. Oh, go follow, now go follow, now go follow. Me say me nah follow no fashion, no. Jam on. Me say me nah go turn no yes man, no. If you're wrong, say you're wrong. Nah follow no fashion, no. Jam on. On your love will Russian, yes. German, because the puss and the dog, they don't have the same luck. When one gone through, the next one gets stuck. Say what a man want to do, he's free, you see. But what is joke to you, sometimes it's serious to me. Get it? Nah, follow no fashion, no. Watch it. Nah, go turn no yes man, no. If you're wrong, say you're wrong. Nah, follow no fashion, no. Come on, cause all your love will Russian, yes. Alright, say what you fire the Aratil and then him take a breeze. Say what you fire the Aratil and him take a breeze. And I'm a know better, now I go put for me hand in a fire. So me nah follow no fashion, no. Come on, nah turn no yes man, no. If you wrong, say you wrong. Nah follow no fashion, no. Come on, cause all your love will Russian, yeah. Follow fashion monkey, you never drink a good soup. Follow fashion monkey, you never go to good school. Because the puss and the dog, they don't have the same love. Cause when one gone through, the next one gets stuck. What a man want to do, that is free, you see. But what is joke to you, sometimes it's serious to me. And I know, nah, follow no fashion, no. German, nah, go turn no yes man, no. If you're wrong, say you're wrong. Nah, follow no fashion, no. See everything well nice, everyone said them in the race. But when the trouble start, are you alone in the
pull up this song now, eh? 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 Pull up this song now, eh?
Bless us, blessed Negroes. Bless us, Negroes.
Pull up this song now, eh?
Bless us, blessed Negroes.
Go away. Hey you over there. You. Hey you, sir.
Bless us, blessed Negroes. Bless us, Negroes. Like a voice in the wilderness, I have been trying my best just to teach mankind and save them from the storm. So let's see what's going on. I've been living by the word of God, telling mankind how to chat, using music as my rod, hoping they'll overstay, then mankind will live as one. Well, even if I'm one in a big
Go away. Hey you over there. You. Hey you, sir.
hey, whoa, whoa, yeah. Wicked have to run away on that judgment day. Yes, them have to run away. That's what the Father said. Wicked have to run away when the wrath comes. Yes, them have to melt away just like butter and sun. They don't want to live upright. All they do is fast and fight, shedding blood every day and night. But the way them I go do when them buck up in the Father's side. Wicked have to run away on that judgment day. Yes, them have to run away. That's what the Father said. Wicked have to run away when the wrath comes. Yes, them are gonna melt away just like butter against sun. Every knee shall surely bow, and every tongue shall surely confess. So I know I'm doing my best, 'cause I don't wanna be shut out of the Zion gates. Wicked have to run away on the judgment day. Yes, them have to run away. So the Father said, wicked have to run away when the wrath comes. Yes, them are gonna melt away just like butter in sun. Melt away, yeah. To the new bad week, to the new bad week, to the new bad week, wicked have to run away on that judgment day. Yes, them have to run away. That's what the Father said. Wicked have to run away when the wrath comes. Yes, them are gonna melt away just like butter in sun. They don't want to live upright. All they do is fast and fight every day and night. But the way them I go do when them buck up in the Father's side. Oh Lord, wicked have to run away on the judgment day. Yes, them have to run away. That's what the Father said. Wicked have to run away, yeah. Oh God.
It's a serious matter. God is taking over. 'Cause lightning and thunder, brimstone and fire is gonna burn up their soul. Lightning and thunder, brimstone and fire is gonna burn up their soul. The earth is hot like a melting pot. Didn't you know? The earth is hot like a melting pot. The voice of my Father sings out aloud. Mankind, know yourselves. These last few days should be the time of judgment. Better watch your steps. hot like a melting pot. Yeah, well, yeah. Whoa, yeah. Whoa, feel it. Whoa, well, yeah. Hot like a melting pot. Didn't you know? The earth is hot like a melting pot. Yeah, said the voice of my father sings out aloud. Mankind, know yourselves. These last 3 days should be the time of judgment. Better watch your steps. Hot like a melting pot, yeah. Didn't you know? The earth is hot like a melting pot, yeah. Lightning and thunder, brimstone and fire, it's gonna burn out their soul. Lightning and thunder, brimstone and fire.
Since we broke up, my heart has never been the same. No, no, no. Yes, my heart is burning just to know that you are not around. Oh no, oh no. 40 days and 40 nights, my heart has gone astray, girl. 'Cause all I see is you. Was always thinking of our future and what we had to do. It's hard to get over you. You say that you love me, girl, baby. You said that you need me, girl, baby. Ooh, yeah. So everything you said to me was not for real. No, when we took our wedding vows, that was the deal. To love each other, to be together, to live in love and harmony forever and ever. You said that you love me, girl, lady. You said that you need me, girl, baby. Oh, oh. Sha-na-na-na-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na-na-na. Oh yes, oh yes. So how you feeling now? You exodus and gone from me. Say life goes on, and I hope you can see that everything I said was also true, girl. And I know I will never find another you. You say that you love me, girl, baby. Oh yes, you
Oh, oh, yeah. Hey. Ooh, yeah. There is someone that we all gotta face sometime in our life. And the person talking is no one else but the Most High. Whoa, yeah. Hey. This is a wake-up call for all you sinners and a shout for all unbelievers that Jah is no fake. Oh, no. Jah is no fake. No. All you gotta do is just open your minds and let Satan go running through. And say I rebuke you. Then you open your minds and let the love of Jah come running through. And say I love you. When you my Jah is real, oh yeah. By my side, I will abide. Oh yes, I will abide. Yes. Ooh. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it moving around your soul? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it moving around your soul? Hey. This is a wake-up call for all you sinners, shout for all unbelievers that my God's no fake. No, 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 no. My God's no fake. No, no, no. My God's no fake. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh yeah, boy. Can you feel him? Can you feel him? Can you feel him moving around your soul? Yeah. Can you feel him? Can you feel him? Can you feel him moving around your soul? Yeah. Can you feel him? Can you feel him? Hey, can you feel him moving around your soul? Was that it?
I remember the song my mother used to sing each and every morning. There's a flower blooming outside, and there ain't no love inside of brothers and sisters' mind. So if they can be good, they've gotta be careful. I remember one rainy day in March. My poor mom, she sent me out to get some starch. I was the only one that she could depend on, so I had to shop and cook and clean all day long. Without a father, only the one that's deep within. That's why I praise him for his mighty word. To keep us every morning. There's a flower blooming outside, and there ain't no love inside of brothers and sisters' lives. So if they can't be good, they've gotta be careful. Oh yeah. Oh, the song my mother used to sing.
Sweet. Memories. A mother's love to her children. Son, a mother. tell you, son and mother. Listen, son and mother, watch it. Sweet. Sweet son and mother.
song now, eh? Pull up this song now, eh? Pull up this song now, eh? Pull up this song now.
Yes. This day, remembrance of a mother. So the world still a go on, obviously because we are alive. Yes, the US procedures imminent. Short of a resolution. Influencing elections is going to be very traumatic, this Hollywood proceedings. And the election, you're going to see Nero at work. The world would see Nero at work. Things are going to be dread. Iran, 40 years since they took their country back. But those who were involved in taking it from them are still being angry. So they are starting regime change by any means, crookery. They might try all sort of thing. And now we see the election results in England and how it's actually played out to be fraudulent, because the Brexit that them tried to tell you and tell the Queen was fixed, it's not fixed. It's just proceedings. Just proceedings. And the stirs up of untruths have now relaxed their minds. But me say, my friend, Jeremy Corbyn, he is a patriot. You know me, I for him country. So, he have to work, he will work with the betterment for the country. Natural. Watch the taxes. Watch the inflation. And then watch the positioning to help their cousins or their brothers to dominate the world. Because you have a Nero that not care. You have a Nero that don't have experience, but a Nero that's still going to show you he's a British Bulldog Terrier. Yes. Influencing election and proceedings imminent. Wow, what a thing we're into. So, we have to just continue to exist and seek family support. Yeah. All times. And look to God at all times also. You see? Very important. Very, very important. Extremely important. There's no pastor, no reverend, no pope. None of these people show any form of sincerity for the human race. You know? So, if it's God them I work with, then them should fear God and do that which is right. and seek for that which is right. But that doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. And Africa, the colonial powers are still there. The colonial powers are making use of what they want. They're taking the resources that they want. Again, it's a shame. It's sad. It's very sad. So, what my mom just say, cockroach don't have no business in folk up. It would never exist. So, this day was a Wednesday on the birth of our mother. Yes. Them call it Aquarius too. Water. Yeah. So, we can never forget. And we just have to be honorable, respectful, caring children until our time comes. That's it. You know, everyone out there who, we all have parents, but who have lost theirs. Remember them. Remember them. And if we do really remember them, and we have children, our families are still intact, we should raise a torch. A torch. Because that's our history. That's our legacy. And know that we still have things to do. Not because we are alive, but because they brought us in this world. And we have responsibility towards them and for them. I think that's my quest, ultimate goal. So the journey must be one of prosperity. Yeah. So Vernon John, I feel my man that. Vernon John, Melika Shabazz, I feel my man that. Because my mother was never swayed by conditions, circumstances of other people. She's only 5 foot little, but tough, strong, I tell you. And integrity, yeah. Integrity. No beg, no steal, no borrow. Always know that there's a tomorrow once God giveth her life. So she have children and grandchildren that will continue to light up this world. Yeah, that we know. You see, that we know. Yeah. My mother come through 2 wars. Is it 2 or 3? You see, in this devastating idiotic set of people in this earth. Yeah? But stayed strong, stayed fast. Yeah. And came at the beckoning call of Queen Elizabeth. And you still not give us her Jubilee, silver and gold watch or strap. But we have our own legacy. She's our matriarch. Yeah. And now look at you. You're a squabble. One child have a duck and dive, and a grandson seek separation. Yes. Years. So it's a guidance. God willing, we'll be there with you on Thursday. Bar Jesus, the musician. Yeah. So you can check it out. Acts 13, verse 8. Check it out. Read all the different translation. Because we're going to come back with that and a little more. Yeah. You see? Because that's the trickery. You know, me try to understand something, you know. In Islam, it tells us that the angel of death comes to claim the soul that belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God Almighty. And there's nothing a human being can do about that. And when I was growing, I see people that used to be the thing that was spoke about a lot. The soul, the soul, the soul. You know? How can I guard and protect my soul? And, you know, what makes this body works? And what is the soul? See? So in Islam it tells you that the angel of death, yeah, when the time comes, the angel will come and take the soul. But questions will be asked. And that's our last testimony. But no one hears any sound. From anyone. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us through the Prophet Muhammad that we should learn to worship him correctly. Learn to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala correctly. That's the last exam. Who's your Lord? See, learning and influences is a very serious thing. You check this world and see the premise that it works with. You check these powerhouses, you see the things that they work with. They love influencing people, love threatening people, love tormenting people, love to turn people and persuade people. They always have some form of agenda outside of God. So in Islam it tells you, know who is the creator. For when that last exam comes to you, you will answer correctly. You answer correctly. That's why it tells us again, what does it profit a man to gain the whole wide world and lose his soul? That in itself is days of lecture and days of conversation. What does it profit a man, a human, to gain the whole world for the loss of his soul? And when we look, we can see this is how man is. Some men, some humans, them lust, them want power. They want to dictate, they want to be up front, they want to be recognized. And they will do anything, and they will go to every extreme. And they will make up what they call laws and rules to carry out their needs, to fulfill their needs, even if that means killing people by the hundreds and the thousands, even the millions. They justify it with some ignorant language. But you see the conscience, and you see that soul, and you see that last exam. If you don't get it right, obviously you fail. But you're no more. No more. And there are torment of the life that we've lived and not recognizing God Almighty begins. But you see, no one comes and tell us, because then it won't be an exam. And that's what we think should happen. That from the beyond should come and tell us what is actually happening. They had their innings, and so do we. They had their calling, and so do us. We all get our calling. And none of us can reach God Almighty, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and says, we didn't hear. Yeah, we hear, but we didn't obey. And we can't say we didn't recognize, because we see the signs of Allah. Our life is a testimony of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We not control this life. All we do is dress it up, this body, not the life. We don't sustain ourselves. We are sustained. And no evil comes unto us but by ourselves. No wrong action comes to us but by ourselves or by other human beings. So you see, the Almighty gives us everything and seek very little from us, if any. All we have to do is acknowledge and be obedient to the best of our ability. Subhanallah. And that earth to which we are part of, we will return Is it going to be a pleasant journey or is it a hostile one? Yeah. So we say, Assalamu alaikum, Mum. And we say, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your soul. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us aright. And may we be obedient as we should. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, man. Worldwide. Yeah, I can't forget my brother, you know. You see, I mean, yeah, all my family, all of them. But you see, this woman, special. And this brother, same thing. You know? Yeah, man. We don't look for what we haven't put down. And we will not go into a place where we're not required. Seriously. Still there with your mom. One day soon, all of us, that journey, you understand? There's nowhere one can hide and lie, be covetous and, you know? Yeah, man. Wanting prosperity. There's nothing wrong with that. Just be legal. Guidance. One day soon. one day soon. You see it there? And we can't do nothing about it. You see? So let me tell you this now. You see the grave? The grave does be quite flexible. But you see if it became tight, pressure. And why we can talk this is Al-Quran is the last testimony for mankind. It's the last. You see? And then not come with dress up and sweet up and because mankind has been disobedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after receiving so much and continues to do so. So we're told how to sit the exam and even how to pass the exam. So we don't have no excuse again because from our father Adam and our mother Hawa, we was constantly being educated, advised, instructed, all the way. Different teachers, different principles. We call them messengers and prophets. Yes. And then we have the last completion. And we're left to our own devices, but we're left with a manual, with a mandate called Al-Quran. So we say, read it and don't compare it. But read it with a sober mind and be patient and show some humility to yourself because there's no competition. Each one of us is on our own. It could be that sometimes an incident or accident or even fate brings it that I myself and my wife and my children, we all die together. Who knows? And could be we all are buried together. Who knows? But the point I'm making is that we came here and we will leave here. And we don't have no passengers. The closest passenger we had, and we were the passenger, was our mother. See? But you see, on parting, we're on our own. You see? And why as we came and we accumulated so much property, so much wealth, so much clothes, so much of whatever, it now follow it. You see? You can't even choose what you want to have and what you don't want to have. You can have a premonition and tell your family, listen, this and this and this and this. You still don't know. So Islam teaches us and advises us and shows us these things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you see the signs, we see the signs. No one can dispute. And those who are hard of hearing, hard of seeing, pretending not to see, wanting to be blind and yet still are not blind, refusing to hear and yet still are not deaf. They make themselves into a serious problem. They create a serious problem for themselves. And well, they know it. You understand? Well, we do. But I'm telling you, I'll tell myself first, it's better to be clear about who God is than to give fame to ourselves and to someone that's just like us, that depends on the cherishing, the nurturing, and the sustainment of God Almighty. Seeing guidance.
If I had the world,
yes,
I'd give it to you, girl.
Young Dennis Emmanuel Brown.
If I had the world, I'd give it to you, girl. You're like an angel to me. You always give your sympathy when I'm exhausted and low. I always know just where to go. You touched my head, you always understand the little things that hurt me inside. Father, I thank thee for sending me this heavenly guide. Oh, baby. When I'm in a misery, girl, it's just you that I see. Oh, you drive away the pains from me. Sometimes you're like a cocaine, baby. Oh, baby, if I had the world,
Production by the Prince.
I'd give it to you.
And sung by the Young Prince.
If I had the world, I'd give it to you. If I had the world.
You see everything we just tell you just now, still, Prince Buster used to tell some of him close brethren them, because he was a Muslim. See? Yeah, I tell you. So we say guidance until, God willing, guidance until Thursday. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so wills, so it shall be done. Family, guidance. God bless. Allah bless you all.